भारती न्यूज, सीधा, सटीक और निष्पक्ष।
Good evening and welcome to Bharti News. I am Sumona Sinha. Let's have a look at the biggest news of the day. Here is the national news first. In a significant ruling, the Supreme Court declared that the storage of child pornographic material constitutes an offence under the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences (POCSO Act). The decision was delivered by a bench consisting of Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud and Justice J.B. Pardiwala, which overturned a recent judgment by the Madras High Court. The Madras High Court had previously ruled that merely downloading or viewing child pornography without the intent to distribute or transmit did not amount to an offence. However, the Supreme Court firmly set aside this interpretation, affirming that possession of such material alone is a criminal act under the POCSO Act, which aims to protect children from sexual exploitation and abuse. After the resignation of 4 ministers, the Bhagwant Mann government of Punjab has announced a cabinet expansion. The governor will administer the oath of office and secrecy to the new ministers this evening, after 4 ministers resigned on Sunday. Punjab's Water Supply, Sanitation, Revenue and Disaster Management Minister Brahm Shankar Jimpa, Information and Public Relations, Mining and Geology Minister Chetan Singh Jodam Majra, Tourism Minister Anmol Gagan Mann and Local Bodies Minister Balkar Singh resigned from their posts. Their resignation was accepted by the Mann government and forwarded to the governor with immediate effect. Here is the international news. The Israeli military is preparing for the next stage of its operation in Lebanon after launching a wave of air strikes against Hezbollah. The military chief of the General Staff, Herzi Halevi, said Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant said Israel's airstrikes in Lebanon have destroyed tens of thousands of Hezbollah rockets, adding to the most difficult week for the Iran-backed movement since its creation. Today is a significant peak. On this day, we have taken out of order tens of thousands of rockets and precise munition. What Hezbollah has built over a period of 20 years since the Second Lebanon War is in fact being destroyed by the IDF, he said in a statement. Prime Minister Modi met Zelensky in the last leg of his 3-day visit to the US, where he also addressed the United Nations General Assembly on Monday. He reiterated India's support for the early resolution of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Prime Minister Narendra Modi held talks with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in New York and reaffirmed India's commitment for an elderly resolution of Russia-Ukraine conflict and the restoration of peace and stability in the region. During the last leg of his 3-day visit to the US, the Prime Minister met Zelensky on the sidelines of the Summit of the Future at the UNGA. Here is the sports news. Team India is unlikely to make any changes to its batting unit for the second test against Bangladesh, which will be played at Green Park in Kanpur. Meanwhile, Mumbai will face the rest of India in the Irani Cup fixture from October 1 to October 5, and Sarfaraz is expected to turn up for the Ranji champions. BCCI is likely to release middle order batter Sarfaraz Khan from the Indian team for the upcoming Irani Cup clash between Mumbai and the rest of the India. The annual fixture on India's domestic season is set to be played from October 1st to October 5th in Lucknow, while the second test between India and Bangladesh is scheduled to take place at Green Park in Kanpur from September 27th. India's men's and women's teams won the historic gold at the 2024 FIDE Chess Olympiad in Hungary on Sunday. Both R. Praganathan and his sister Vaishali were part of the men's and women's teams respectively. The brother-sister duo returned home early in the morning today. India's men's and women's teams created history on Sunday, winning their maiden gold medal at the 2024 FIDE Chess Olympiad in Hungary. 2 players from the team, R. Praganathan and his sister Vaishali, returned home today early in the morning in Chennai and received a warm welcome from their fans at the airport. Here is the business news. Bank of England holds interest rate at 5% despite US Fed rate cut. The Bank of England has maintained its interest rate at 5%, contrasting with the US Federal Reserve's rate cut to 4.8%. Inflation concerns in the United Kingdom, particularly in the services sector, have driven this cautious approach. The Bank of England has kept its main interest rate steady at 5% despite a significant cut by the US Federal Reserve. This decision was largely expected due to inflation concerns, particularly in the services sector, which represents 80% of the British economy. Inflation in the UK remained at 2.2% in August, still above the bank's target. So that concludes our news bulletin for today. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned to Bharati News for continuous coverage and more updates. Wishing a very good evening.
भारती न्यूज़, सीधा, सटीक और निष्पक्ष।